All right. Actually, I don't need this mic. I'm going to come right out here. Hello, everyone. All the developers out there, the builders, the creators, and those who just like to dream. Welcome to RDC 2016, the biggest RDC yet. All right, guys and gals, we've got an awesome show lined up for you today. You're going to be hearing from some of the biggest names and most important folks around here, and they're excited to tell you guys brand new information that only you guys are going to know. That's kind of why we assembled you here. But not just that, we also want to hear from you. So later we'll be breaking out into smaller sessions where we won't just be talking to you, we'll be talking with you. We're here to kind of learn from you guys as well as inform you guys with some of the canteen back there. You can grab that and have some water with you while you hang out at your stations here. Later as well will be a VR demonstration. I want to remind you all that's actually in a different room down the hall called the Guadalupe room, so that's where the VR is going to be happening. All right. Well, folks, I'm not going to squander too much of your time being up here on the stage, as you don't want to hear from me. We've got bigger folks to hear from and more exciting news throughout the day. So, coming up next is a man who needs no introduction, but I'm going to give him one anyway. His name is David Builderman. All right, thank you guys, and enjoy today's show. Welcome everyone to the biggest, most
to the 2016 ROBLOX Developers Conference. ROBLOX is growing faster than ever. You have a front row seat during the most exciting time in ROBLOX history. We are building the future of entertainment.
When we started this company 10 years ago, we're going to hold that video, guys, so after mine, we'll use that to intro Keith. Let's bring up my PowerPoint. There we go. So never in our most wildest dreams, when we started this company, did we imagine not just how far we would come, but this amazing collection of some of the most creative and innovative and intelligent and passionate developers, and I would say not just game developers, but developers that are really developing the future of play and entertainment, and we're so flattered to have you here today. I want to give you just a little kickoff of where ROBLOX is right now. I'm going to give you a little sign of our vision, then we're going to welcome you to this awesome conference. For those of you that have been on ROBLOX for the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years, and if you've been watching our Twitch streams, if you've been watching Google Trends, if you've just been watching the number of people that play your experiences, you can see that we're undergoing a period of incredible growth right now. And if anything, our growth has been accelerating in a way that makes this conference even more exciting to all of us. When we look at our growth trends now, we've roughly tripled in the last year, which is really amazing. If you watch the iOS App Store, the Xbox rankings, you'll see our Xbox ROBLOX has been number 1 or number 2 in the top downloaded category for literally since we launched. Our iPad presence, especially, as well as Android tablet presence, is starting to bump into the top 20 all over the place. And then all of the charts were starting to rise. When we started ROBLOX, we've at many of these RDCs talked about a concept we've called Lego time. And we've used Lego as one platform. It's a toy, obviously it's well known, but as a metric for how much engagement and how much time people are spending playing ROBLOX. Lego's played about 500 million hours per month. Physical Legos across the world, everywhere playing with Legos. We are approaching 50% of that engagement on ROBLOX. So that's a staggering amount of engagement time for really the players that you all power. And that's an amount of engagement that goes way beyond any TV show. It's an amount of engagement that goes way beyond any movie. It's starting to encroach on the amount of engagement that approaches what Saturday morning TV used to be. So we're all powering an incredible amount of engagement amongst the Roblox community, and it's your creativity that's making that all possible. So why do we think our growth is accelerating? If you're into kind of the science of networks and network effects and chaos theory and all of this crazy stuff, there's some types of networks where the more people that are in the network, the better the network is. There's a higher chance of finding your friends. There's more creative developers. There's possibly a better chance of whatever cool long-tail Roblox creation you're playing, even if it happens to be something that's very infrequently played, there's a better chance you might find someone in that experience. That's what we believe is happening right now at Roblox. We believe there are network effect things going on, and we believe these network effects are going to carry us very rapidly to engagement metrics that go way beyond a very big, well-known competitor of Roblox. We can see all of the leading indicators. We are acquiring new users at approximately 7 times the speed of the very well-known big competitor, and we're quite confident in the next year to 2, all engagement metrics, which is total monthly active users, time spent, all of these metrics, Roblox will emerge as the largest UGC platform. So once again, thank you for powering that. Our team at Roblox is taking all of this growth and funneling all of both your driven new revenue back into the company to hire more and more great people. We have 186 people at Roblox right now. We're hiring about 10 per month. Yeah, we would love to hire many of you, okay? So many of you are earning too much money to actually make sense to work at Roblox, and we're actually pretty happy about that. So we'd like that to be actually the case that you are. But many of you are potentially future Roblox employees, and your creativity, your, once again, intelligence, your ability to think outside the box is what we look for in new Roblox employees. And there's some wonderful examples of former top Roblox developers in this room today that are now working for Roblox and just literally crushing it at Roblox. So we're really committed to this platform. We're hiring the best and the brightest in every area. You can see it in specific areas: our physics, our networking, our marketing, our sales force, our operations force. We really want to be the best in all of those areas. Developer relations a year ago was really just a glimmer in our eye. Justin and Deepak have done enormous things. This team is going to get amazingly bigger over the next year. And we've really figured out that our success is really linked to your success. We really want to be working with all of you very closely. So we're looking forward to expanding this team, especially to help you all be successful. So let me go high level a little and really go big picture about our vision at Roblox. And this is really about the future of play. We all need to play. We all need recreation. We all need to have fun. And I think what we see in the modern world is more and more, playing, learning to tell fantasy from reality. A lot of playtime is becoming controlled by, other people. Play is starting to be a little constricted, a little less outside the box. And in many areas, play is really defined by what other people think we should do. On Roblox, we're really discovering a future of play which is very imagination-driven, and that play occurs in experiences that you all create. And the experiences you create are places where our players on Roblox play. They role play, they storytell, they imagine they're doing something else, and you're powering virtual experiences where they can play in wonderful ways, almost like we used to play 100 years ago when anything we wanted to do, we could imagine. The other beauty about the play style that we are all powering in this room is you're very in touch with what's exciting, what's fun, what's authentic. The Roblox community is a tad irreverent. They're not afraid to make fun of things. They're also very relevant. And this makes for exciting play. The play that is exciting and attractive and viral and makes all of our players want and tell their friends to come and play on Roblox. So this revolution in play that you are driving, I think bodes really well for our future. And I'm going to touch a little on it in the rest of this talk as we go further and look to where we're going. Our strategic plan for the next 2 years is very simple. We make a platform, you all create virtual experiences, and you power the imagination of all of our players. Our mission is we want to create the ultimate platform for that. So this platform that we're building, known as Roblox, we think of it in 3 ways. We want it to be as social as possible. We have a long way to go in making it easy for people to find their friends on Roblox, to play with their friends. We want to make it as immersive as possible on any platform, which I'll talk about in a second, and we want to power it all by you. It's really that simple. And when we design and think about what we're doing on Roblox, this is the roadmap we use. We think this is a roadmap that will take us to 50 million players in the next 2 years. If we just stick to our knitting and build out this platform along with our vision. That's really exciting. And that's exciting for all of us here as well. I want to show a few brands in what I would call the kids of all ages entertainment market that we think of as big, exciting brands. And I want us all to think about where the future of play might be and why we're so excited about Roblox. There's really, 4 big areas where people are playing and entertaining right now. 5 if you throw in amusement parks, but that includes what we think of as the gaming market, what we think of as the social networking market, what we think of as the kind of the toy market. And in all of these markets, we see kind of some big companies that have created big brands in that space. What's happening at Roblox, we believe, is we are creating a new large category. We are in the category creation business. It's got elements of social networking, elements of toys, elements of games, elements of movies, but this is a whole new category. And just as social networking was a new category 10 years ago, immersive social experience is a new category, and we believe it's as big, if not bigger, than any of these other categories. Our intent is really to show that to the world and create this new category. And ultimately, when you think of other big companies that have a specific platform, we expect Roblox to be right up there with these platform logos. A little bit about the future and where we're going. The computer, where we got our start, growing remarkably fast. No, phones and VR are not going to take over the laptop. Our computer business is growing well over 2x per year. We believe strongly that all game development, the hardcore stuff where you're scripting, maybe not the modeling stuff, is going to be done on laptops and PCs for quite some time to come. And what you're seeing on all of our computers, once again, you're going to hear a pile of stuff that's coming out over the next 6 months. This is going to be kind of our mainstay for a while, and it's growing very quickly. Mobile. So mobile's really interesting in that for those of you that were on Roblox 7 or 8 years ago, it's a little bit where we are with mobile right now. And so the good news on mobile is we've really validated there's a huge opportunity here. And the number of signups, the number of new players that come into Roblox on phones and tablets is enormous. It is going to pass those that come in on PCs. We can see all the curves here. The exciting part is we have some developers in this room right now who are already making more revenue on phones than they are, or tablets, than they are on PCs. The opportunity is it's still a little bit of the Wild West. So I think what you're going to see from us over the next year is a big focus on essentially making and letting mobile's destiny ride out exactly where our desktop destiny has come. And to the long term, when you look at the long-term future of Roblox way out there, at some point, more people will play Roblox on phones than on computers. We don't know when, but at some point they will. They may not play for 30 minutes, they may not play as long, they may not be as engaged, but this is going to happen. And once again, the good news is we're there for it. Console. What's that mystery console? Any ideas? So, yeah, what would be the most logical place to go there? So Xbox. We've worked with Microsoft for the last year now with our vision of both Xbox and Windows 10. What has been very surprising to Microsoft is our Roblox Xbox app topping the charts, top downloads, ever since we've launched. Number one, a few days, number two. Yay, all right. And really showing, all of us together have shown Microsoft that lockdown, constricted console space really can work with user-generated content. Together, we have all brought user-generated content to the Xbox. We've done a wonderful job. There's a logical place to go. I'm not going to say where it is. We all know what it is. It's also very big. And we're really double down on bringing that success to that other console in a way that's going to leverage all of our creations. So really looking forward to that. VR. So you're going to get to try Roblox on VR today if you haven't already. It is the most immersive Roblox experience you have ever seen. I played Crossroads on Roblox VR, 10-year-old Crossroads, and it was a whole new thing. I was inside Crossroads, it was bigger, I was closer, it was more mind-blowing than ever before. So VR is long-term going to be huge. The other beautiful thing about VR for Roblox is many games are trying to figure out how we make our game work on VR. Roblox is essentially a VR platform. It's 3D, it's immersive, it's based on avatars, it's multiplayer, it's social. In effect, Roblox is a VR platform that is just waiting for VR to get better and better. There's not a lot that we have to do to be crushingly awesome on VR. So you're going to see Roblox over the next 6 months, 12 months, all of those logical VR platforms where we should be, you're going to see us there. And it's going to be super exciting. Something super interesting that we've figured out over the last year about all of your work and creations, and this is just a sampling, is in the future, when you start to imagine Roblox toys, Roblox movies, Roblox TV shows, Roblox snack bars, Roblox cereal, Roblox pajamas, all of this Roblox stuff, the thing we have figured out in the last 6 to 12 months is Roblox is really about your creations, and it's less about Roblox. We ultimately would like to fade a bit into the background, so when Roblox starts to go to all of these places, it's based on your creations. And what's exciting about that is we think there's a lot more scale there. I think there's a lot more exciting branding and licensing opportunities. So watch us over the next 6 months for some very exciting announcements in this area, all based on your creations. What does that mean? It means the experiences that you're creating, and we call them experiences even more than games, because they're a lot of times places where people hang out to experience things. The experiences you're creating, a lot of them are starting to have interesting avatars, a lot of them are starting to have interesting backstories, a lot of them are starting to have interesting things that surround them, plot twists. A lot of them are starting to be almost as if you all are creating Spider-Man and Superman and SpongeBob and South Park. You all are creating these types of things. So look for a future where your experiences become part of a future licensing effort. Where we would like you to be in 5 years. So one goal I have put out is we would like our top Roblox developers in 5 years, not just to be amazingly successful, not just to be licensing their experience, not just to have millions and millions and millions of people playing their experience. We'd like our top developer in 5 years to be making $10 million. And that will be the sign of a healthy ecosystem on Roblox. That's about the equivalent today of being about number 100 to number 120 in the iOS phone monetizing slot. We need that to happen on Roblox. We would imagine in 5 years our top developers are running small studios. They are making, and some of you are already doing that, they're making multiple games and experiences, and they're participating in the licensing, in the branding, and in the marketing of that experience. So that's how far and how big we think this can be. And once again, this is based on a vision of, rather than Roblox licensing in, Indiana Jones and Star Wars, we're moving out because you all are creating interesting brands and experiences. So I'd like to thank, first, once again, our sponsors, Post, first ever RDC sponsorship. Let's give them a hand, all right? I would like to thank not just the developers in this room, but the 500,000 Roblox developers around the world who really drive everything we're doing. I'd like to thank all of the Roblox employees, both here today and not, who build this platform that you can rest on. And I'd like to look to this continued vision where when we do have our next Roblox BloxCon, as opposed to RDC, at some point, it's really going to be about everyone swarming you, asking for your autographs as we fade to the background. So thank you again, and I'm going to kick it off back to Justin. Thank you.
To the 2016 ROBLOX Developers Conference. Roblox is growing faster than ever. You have a front row seat during the most exciting time in Roblox history. We are building the future of entertainment with you in the driver's seat. Welcome to the stage, J Party.
All right, everyone out there. So, we're going to move a little forward with our conversations today, and we're going to go into the tools that make everything you guys do possible. So the next group of presenters up here is going to be the folks that give you the studio and the tools that make it all happen. So without further ado, here's the man who really holds the whole ship together and keeps us sailing right, Keith Lucas.
Hello. Thank you for coming. We're really excited you're here. I'm Keith. Can we hear it again for our Chief Inspiration Officer, Dave Bazuki? So I'm going to start today with a little bit of something I believe. I think you know that you can change the world around you, that you can change your world. If you didn't, you wouldn't be here today. You wouldn't spend hundreds of hours on games that are played by millions. You wouldn't learn to monetize and advertise. You wouldn't work in groups on a shared vision. You wouldn't start companies, write books, or create magazines. One of the best things that we've ever done at Roblox is work more closely with you. So that's why today I'm asking you the same thing I asked of our ROBLOX employees every day. Never accept where we are today. Believe in where we can go and help us get there. So that's why, thanks. That's why our first slide, my first slide, is really about you. Our goal, one of our chief goals, is to help you be professional game developers. You take your work seriously, and we take you very seriously. We are happy if Roblox is a really serious hobby for you, but our goal is for you to to help you make it a career. To start your own company, to be an indie game developer, to do the things you want to do. So in short, while our product is here to help you explore your imagination, our company is here to help you follow your dreams. And I hope you know and realize how important you are to everyone at Roblox. You inspire us, you motivate us, and you drive us. We really care about your potential, your growth, and your success, and I can tell you that you are on the minds of people across Roblox every day. So throughout the morning here and the afternoon, you'll hear a lot of deep dives on various product things that we are working on. I want to kick off with a couple of other things that I think are equally important. So first, the Roblox social network. So we are a social network. But unlike a lot of social networks where you go and you make or find the friends you already have, Roblox is about making new friends and playing together. And what's more is the Roblox community is not just interested in any type of game. They are really, I believe, very interested in what you do every day. They have a passion for creative, unique games and experiences that come right from the community. So our job is to grow the audience, drive engagement, and to deliver players right to your game. So let's talk about how we grow the audience. We do this mainly by expanding onto new platforms. And we came out on Xbox this year, and like other platforms before it, it was additive, meaning we were able to reach a lot of new players. And in fact, 81% of our players on Xbox are new to Roblox. And what's more, the diagram on the right shows that a lot of the playtime is actually on a single platform. And specifically, about only 12% of users play on more than one platform. So when we add a new platform, it really literally means a larger market for you. So that's how we really grow the audience, or one of the big ways, and we're going to continue to do that. Let's talk about engagement. So over the past 18 months, we have continuously shipped new features for our social network to help people make friends and play together. Because we know and we've learned that players who play with their friends play longer. So this chart here shows average play session time. This is from about a year ago. And what you see is that players in parties play about 50% longer than players who are not in parties. And that actually, that learning translates into other statistics as well, including retention. So making one friend in your first week can increase the retention of a new player in their 5th week by about 9%. And so we've invested heavily in our social network, and since last year, we've introduced web chat, parties, we have now friends who are auto-joining through our matchmaking, we've introduced VIP servers, group VIP servers, and we've also added a new feature when you leave a game to see all the friend invites, and we've seen tremendous uptick here. We will continue to drive and work on social features over the coming year. So on to the third component of driving traffic to your games. We get why discovery is so important. I've heard from a lot of our accelerators about our games page. From our accelerators, they say the games page is easy to game, and also it's hard for new content to surface. So one of the things that we introduced in the last year was a new recommendation engine. And as you can see here by the bottom strip, it's doing a pretty good job. But we have a lot more work to do towards the vision of having 10,000 top 20 lists, not just 5. So to this end, one of the things I'm announcing is we are creating a dedicated search and discovery team. We're going to staff it, and this is all they're going to work on, is the discovery of content with the mission of delivering players to your games and really dramatically increasing discovery. So I want to talk about developer web services. We have a vision of very sophisticated games with multi-map games that are backed by persistence and web services. And the feedback that I've heard from developers is pretty consistent. A lot of good ideas that are not yet finished. So I want to talk about a couple of these. One, universes. Here's what I've heard. Configuration is distributed and confusing. You'd like to have the ability to matchmake within your universe, and also things like parties and follows are not working as you'd expect, and a whole bunch of other things. I've also talked to you about data stores, that they're very useful, but there's issues around resiliency and recovery, performance, cross-server caching. And the other thing that I've heard and that we totally get is the need for a pipeline, developer test and production pipeline, so you could keep working on a game that is already really popular without hassle. So like search and discovery, we are going to dedicate a team specifically to developer web services. I've heard from you, it's super important. We get it, we agree, we're going to work on this. So now I'd like to move on to mobile. And this is from our blog. If you've read it, you can see and as Dave mentioned, we've had a tremendous year of growth on mobile. And in May alone, we've had 20 million hours in play on each iOS and Android. So it's really incredible. A year ago, I met with our interns and developers, and I asked them, hey, what can we do at Roblox to help you make mobile games? And at the time, I heard a lot of suggestions, but one person, and he said I'm allowed to quote him, Alex Hitz, really put it really well. He said, I will take Roblox Mobile seriously when you take Roblox Mobile seriously. It can't crash, it has to be easy to use, and basic things have to work. And I'm paraphrasing. He was very polite. So we heard this very loud and clear and took it to heart. And so since last year, we have done a number of things. So first, Android MTBF is 3 times higher than it was a year ago, iOS 2 times higher. We've worked on our platform-specific game sorts, so that way when you play a game on a phone on a specific device, you have a really good chance of that game working. We've cleaned up the sign-up and login page, in fact went completely from scratch, and we have evidence that it's really helping new users. We've revamped profile, games, friends, and settings pages and designed them for the phone. We've introduced the mobile developer console, and I've heard really great feedback on this, but a request to keep going, so we are going to keep going. We've also introduced developer stats by platform, and I know firsthand from some of you that this has really helped you optimize your game for phone and tablets. We've optimized terrain. Now, we've done this generally, but it also has had improvements on phones and tablets. And finally, internally, the team itself is bigger than it was, a lot bigger than it was a year ago, and it's continuing to grow. So what's next? 3 weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, we started a new project, cross-platform 2D GUIs. So this is really consistent what I've heard from the accelerators, that making GUIs is really hard, especially trying to make them work across multiple platforms. So we started this work 2 weeks ago, and we're working on it. It'll be a little bit, but I appreciate your feedback. We have also started a few weeks ago work on our emulator, our mobile emulator. We are not only going to fix a number of bugs, we are going to expand what it can do. It's going to be great. And we're going to revisit the companion app in the next year. We will be shipping on phones, chat, notifications, parties, and in 2017 we will be revamping groups from the ground up, and they'll be very phone-centric. And as Dave said, with everything, we will continue to support all platforms, and everything will continue to work everywhere. And finally, we will continued improvements on mobile for MTBF and usability. So finally, I'd like to recognize the entire ROBLOX team. Everyone across all departments around the world who work with on the front lines with our players every day. It's a really talented and dedicated group. And what's exciting is it has increasingly had, as part of our employees, members of the developer community. So not like accelerators and interns, and for the first time this year, full-time employees. And this is really inspiring and exciting for us. We're thrilled to have this. So in the next few minutes, you'll hear from Michael, our engineering director for Studio, who I think some of you may know. He will go over Studio past, present, and future. Deepak, one of our product directors, will talk about Avatar. Arseny, one of our technical directors, will talk about client and where that's going. And then later this afternoon, Christina, our director of monetization, will be talking about statistics in-game and how to monetize in-game. So once again, thank you all for everything you do every day and for the impact that you have on our community. We really care. We're listening. Continue to tell us what you need. So thank you.
right, folks. We continue our tour of the team that gives you the studio tools. Oh, let me trip over this bench right here. Sorry about that. Coming up next is the man who's the head of the entire studio operation and keeps the developers working. He's Michael Dreaming Mind Krzyzanowski. Welcome to the stage. Actually, let's delay a little bit here, as it seems we are still connecting him to a microphone so we can hear him. Michael, how's it going back there? Ah.
Hello?
Hey, we're in.
Good. They were trying to wiring me up, but it didn't work. Okay. So, let's talk about the credo of all Roblox games. What is it? Yes, studio. I will talk today about the most important features we are working on or has been released, like Team Create, meshes, mobile games development, and UI enhancements. When I was working on my presentation, I was thinking, like, what is the most important feature I would like to start with? And then it sounded to me like picking the most favorite color. Each of you guys have a favorite color or none, and picking the most favorite color is nonsense. So instead, you could tell me, hey, give us all and we'll choose what we like. Then the most important feature is to actually grow big ears and make sure we hear you guys. And we just did that. Some of you guys are quite active on the dev forum. Those who are not, you are welcome to join, because besides usual social communication, you can also share your ideas and concerns. There are sticky posts in bug reports and feature request categories detailing the rules. But here I will explain the general plan of actions. Let's start with the bugs, because they are easier. The only thing you have to do is post problem description and reproduction steps in bug report category. We review these reports weekly, prioritize them according to the impact, and add to our development pipeline. On average, we fix about 30 bugs a month. With features, life is a bit more complicated. Anyway, you post in feature request category. We review these requests weekly, run a quick sanity check, but we don't make any decisions. Instead, we want you guys to speak out. You can do this by voting on Trello board. If we see that a particular request, if we see that enough people show interest in a particular feature, then we mark it as voting complete and add it to our development pipeline. Once again, there are sticky posts in both categories explaining the process and providing the links for voting. We'll keep improving our feedback loop, and eventually, instead of posting on the dev forum, then voting on Trello, you will be able to submit your request on a single support portal, vote on them, and track the progress. So over the last half a year, we actually fixed about 70 bugs and delivered about 10 enhancements. You see the most interesting in the slide. So now let's go back to Studio, and let's see what Studio is and will become. And we start with mobile. And no. There will be no mobile Studio, at least not at the scale of existing product. But we want to make sure that you guys can create games which run smoothly on mobile devices. Why is that? Check it out. 4 times growth year to year. 25% growth month to month. Column at the left is mobile user base we had in January, and at the right what we have now. Pretty impressive, huh? Let's see what will happen if we continue growing at the same rate. Look at this. The projected mobile user base in December dwarfs what we had in January. This is why mobile compatibility is crucially important for overall success of your games. And Studio is going to support you in these efforts. First of all, we are going to fix outstanding bugs in device emulation. If you don't know where device emulation is, look in the Test tab. Then we will complete this project. Studio emulation will be close enough to what you see on real mobile device. And Performance Analyzer will get a new look. You will see crucial parameters there like RAM and polygon count. And we are also thinking of simulating CPU speed. I'm sure that with these updates, you will be able to create wonders on mobile. Speaking of wonders, I know that some of you guys are better at visual marvels, some are great at coding magic, and some are sound virtuosos. Bringing all talents together and making a strong team is important for creating exceptional games. Team Create provides this opportunity. For those who haven't tried it, I will list the most important features. If you turn on Team Create for your place, you will be able to invite people from entire ROBLOX community to work on your place with you simultaneously. This means that you will be able to work on the place, see the updates, chat, and play test together. This feature is live for already several months. So at ROBLOX, we would like to make sure that you guys can create games in teams with tight collaboration and online. Down the road, Team Create will be Team Create will be on by default for all places. For instance, if you guys have group-owned games, then Team Create will be on and you will be able to start developing them right away. Actually, it is a known fact that in any product-making business, the efficiency, the quality, and the on-time delivery are results of the established process. In car industry, it is the conveyor. In software development, and specifically game development, it is the pipeline. Develop, test, release. When you start working on a new game or an update of existing games, you obviously don't want your players to see what you are working on until the results are ready. This is the develop phase. And once you complete it, your QA people can start testing. So you move to the test phase. At the same time, you may need to continue development working on the next version. And of course, you don't want your players to see anything or be affected by any bugs you introduce. So we are planning to enable developers pinpoint versions for testing, for beta releases, for general availability releases. And many nice features will come along with this process, like versioning, long sought for, versioning for places and scripts, ability to make limited access releases, also called beta releases. And when we are working in great teams, you can spend more time on the content. Create immersive, realistic environments like the one you see in this clip. When people put on their VR goggles, we really want them to feel present in the virtual world, lose track on the environment they are, and enjoy your game. This is why we relaxed our border patrol policies a little bit, and we allowed meshes to enter ROBLOX world. As many of you already know, we support FBX for geometry, PNG for textures. TGA is actually already also supported. It's passing the last testing stages. It will be on very, 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 very soon. Also, very soon, we will add support for materials and decals for meshes. Similar how we supported for unions. Rigs, animations, and other complex structures which are supported by FBX may be added down the road, but this is not in the nearest plans. Staying on topic of more complex, more immersive games, I would like to emphasize the importance of audio cues along with visual cues. We are working on widening the selection of audio tools in the game engine, and Studio will follow. As of now, you can already play sounds in the Studio without starting your game. And you can change the parameters, try it again, play back again, and until it begins working like you want it. A larger effort is to make multiple games more affordable. Currently, you guys have to do a lot of beating around the bush to make multi-place games. You have to, say, important parameters are at the place level. So you have to copy them over from place to place, and it's applicable to badges, to game passes, and many other parameters. We are going to move all game-level parameters to where they belong, to game configuration. Also, we will make game and place parameters configurable right from Studio. You won't have to go to the web anymore. Some may become available in the mobile app for the changes on the go. Studio will continue growing as a product. You will notice usability improvements, changes in the look and feel, and new features. What features? Well, I would like you guys to help us answer this question. We listen. I know, Justin, it's supposed to be a Q&A session, or we're passing it?
We're going to have that at the very end here, and we're going to pull everyone back
Okay.
at the end for a collective Q&A.
Okay.
All right, thank you,
Passing
Michael.
back to Justin.
All right, hey, folks. All right, everyone, thanks for listening in so far. We're going to take a quick break here in a second. We've got some cool, refreshing snacks outside. I think they're even still being set up, so they're hot off the press here. Grab some snacks, take a little break, get up, stretch. We're going to come back, have a couple more presentations, and then talk in smaller groups.
welcome you for watching the now. Hello, from RDC 2016. Jack Blocks here with 2 blocks to quit. We're coming at you while everyone is on a snack and bathroom break. Hi, Builder Man.
There's a stage back there.
We hope you're having an awesome time watching the live stream here. For those of you who can't be with us here at RDC 16, lots of really exciting news and kind of future-looking things coming from there so far.
What was your favorite thing that you saw so far?
What was your favorite thing that you saw so far?
I'm a little bit of a narcissist. You were rocking that vest.
You were rocking that
big
vest.
Grin.
The big grin.
It's an honor.
It's an honor for
come up
the
here
CEO
and
to
be
come up here and be like,
this guy's legit.
This guy's legit. This guy's gonna
I've got your Twitch chats
right here. So if you guys are hanging out here, let me know what your favorite things you've seen so far is, and what else you want to see coming up here in RDC 2016. We still have 6 more hours to go.
That's a lot. There's gonna be some more.
There's gonna be some more. There's a Q&A coming up next. Then during the lunch break, we're gonna do interviews with some of the top Roblox developers, and then we're gonna have more breakout sessions that are very specific kind of things about things that you can do to be better Roblox developers. So if you want to learn stuff about monetization, promoting stuff on social media, and becoming like a sponsor game, those are going to be the breakout sessions after lunch. So lots of more exciting things coming your way.
Bring it over here. I'm sure that our audio
because our audio is bad
this entire time. The fun thing about dismantling
our entire studio and then trying to rebuild it in a hotel ballroom is that it's difficult. It's very hard to do.
Thank you for bearing with us while we figure these things out live. Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching.
I did have one thing that I found interesting. I always forget,
like when we add a platform,
just how many new users come.
Right, for sure.
I think that's huge. Because I think that hopefully that encourages you to push your awesome games to many platforms, because we want you guys to be viewed by many people.
I think that's a good point about Roblox is that it's so big that the different platforms are like their own ecosystems. So like there's literally 1 million people
oh, Roblox, I love that Xbox
Roblox,
game.
I love that Xbox
That
game.
is how they see Roblox.
That is how they see Roblox. Like that's it. Like Roblox, I play that on my phone. That's it. Reaching out to those people is great. Like there's whole giant audiences to find in every single platform. So really,
And that mystery
Surprise! It's just an Xbox. We're coming to next. That's what we're coming to next. Unbranded Xbox.
That was like probably.
Please subtle hint over. We probably know exactly what we're talking about, but obviously until we officially announce, we can't tell you. But I mean, like, I've enjoyed their last 3 consoles. So
I'm excited.
I'm excited to see something on what number? What number is that? I like these things. I like to play games on like just dedicated stations for gaming 4 times. That's what I like to do.
Yeah.
So crack the code. Let me know. You go. Behind us you can see a lot of like Roblox developers walking around. There is a dude literally in a rainbow fedora here. There was Smooth Block Model just passing on by, not even stopping to say hi. That's fine. We'll grab him later. Ask him where his game is.
It's one of the weird things for me, like actually seeing like when you guys come to these conferences, like, oh, I've contacted you, I communicated with you. I've never seen you in person, and it's just amazing.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, last night during the party, if you guys were watching our Periscope of that, it was super fun. It was like really cool to watch, not just for us, but for them to like come up to each other, look at each other's name badges, and then be like, "Oh my God, yes, awesome!" Like we are friends. Like we were cool. Hey,
like,
there goes all right, hey, just in time for us to probably like come back up. But yeah, you're welcome. So okay, good. Yeah, so audio should be better going forward, you guys. Thank you for letting us know about that in the chat. Evan, shout out to Evan Bear 1. There you go. You didn't think I was gonna do that, but I did it. There you go. Evan Bear has been giving shout outs to every non-subscriber like in there. So if you guys want shout outs, send whispers to Evan Bear, just spam his account and it just blows up his Twitch. That's what you get. let's play dab behind me. What?
You mean like this?
Oh man, we're getting trolled in
we
the back of
dabbing now?
here. Stuff. Oh, you're dabbing now?
We're dabbing. We're dabbing.
That's your dab? Your dad's like,
No,
your
my
dad
dad's
looks like
like
when
this.
you're like sneezing. You're just trying to like, oh, I don't want to, like, I'm rude. But then you're like, oh, hey,
It's a
hey,
lazy
buddy.
dab. I
Hey,
didn't
buddy,
know
hold
we
on,
were
hold
full
on. That's what dabbing looks like.
Um,
It's gotta be like tight. You gotta be like, boom.
agreed.
Yeah. There you guys go. Dabbing lessons from me and Deepak.
Yeah.
over
Now
here.
you're ready for life and culture and sporting events.
No one has mentioned your new haircut, and I think it's really rude.
Well,
that, like,
this is
you were
natural.
so hard on it, and it was like,
Natural.
everybody's like, oh, that's just normal.
This is normal. Have I not done any of these videos when I'm just like coming normal?
Yeah,
I'm not usually
they
like
probably
coming.
don't know what your normal looks like. You're either a skull
Maybe
mask
once.
or giant glasses. Yeah. Oh, there you go. Awesome. So, like, chat is blowing up. Thank you guys. We have like thousands of people watching this right now. Definitely stay tuned. If you just joined us, this is the ROBLOX Developers Conference. It is our annual conference where we invite some of the top developers on Roblox and we share news about the future of Roblox. So stay tuned. We've got news on upcoming features. We're doing Q&As with the top brass here at Roblox. So you're going to get to like ask some tough questions. We will be throwing questions from the chat and from Twitter. So use hashtag RDC2016. That's hashtag RDC2016. Ask questions during the Q&A and we'll throw some up there and you'll get to hear questions from the developers here in there. So your toughest questions, throw them at us. We want to hear.
Yeah.
It's going to be like all the top people, so not just me, like people who can actually answer things for you guys. So definitely like check those out. That's coming up next after this break. We're just chilling out here while we let everyone go to the potty and get a soda
Listen
or
to some
something.
Katy Perry.
Yeah. You're gonna hear. Oh, that was a mistake. Should have even started to try that. That song's hard to
You
do.
know one thing I appreciate about Roblox?
Yeah.
Is the fact that like we actually
Get up here, Bariza.
we actually listen.
There you go. This guy is simultaneously watching the show
And
baking a game and trolling people on Twitch.
it's pretty
Like you're just,
multitasking.
you're very multifaceted here. This is live.
Oh, wow.
This is the internet right now. Yeah, it's
cool.
coming out here. See,
guys
there's
enjoying
Twitch
the
chat.
show?
Yeah. Yes, sir. What's been your favorite thing so far?
Honestly,
I'm gonna just steal your mic back.
Yeah.
the mystery console announcement. I'm pretty excited. I mean, I personally own a mystery console, and I'm very excited. for it.
I'm
We all know what
I'm
it
a
is.
fan of a mystery console.
No, we don't.
Nobody knows.
Nobody
It's a
knows.
secret.
But I personally, have one in my room. I play on it all the time, and I'd be really excited to develop for it. So
Just to be safe, I bought 2 of every console just to see what comes out. So I recommend that, you guys. Oh, wait, why did I pull your mic away? I got my own mic.
anyway,
There you go.
have fun, guys.
Yeah.
RC
All right.
Racer.
Come here. We got some other people over here. Everybody, internet, say hi to Now Do the Harlem Shake, the creator of the normal elevator.
Roblox right now.
The best game on Roblox. That game, I love that game because YouTubers love that game.
Yeah,
and that's part of my job. They go like, "What is this?" And yeah, play the normal elevator.
entertain.
Exactly. It's perfect for like bite-sized content. Yeah. It's really perfect.
Hey,
Wear that proudly. Very few people are blocked by me.
hey, I'm also very important. So
What's your name, important person?
I'm Tenel. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
There you go. What does the Roblox community know you for?
Well, I sort of like leashed off of Brez. Is he here? Okay. Well, like we were initially gonna like create like a collaboration of a project also known as Miners Haven. It was gonna be 50% him, 50% me. I would do the building, the scripting. I mean, he would do like other scripting, and then we would get someone else to do the building, right? And well, I sort of like bailed. I didn't do a lot of work, so he was like, he gave me like a very he gave me 10% because he felt bad for me, and yeah, so I kind of like leached off of his success.
You rode Brez's coattails here to RDC.
Yes.
That's awesome. There you go.
So the money that
Any
I
way you
used
can.
is being used here.
Great.
From money that I didn't really earn.
How did you get here?
The idea process, the initial like scripting and stuff, that's part of it.
Yeah,
Stuff like it's very-
I
that's-
suppose so.
There you go.
But yeah, he rescripted everything and I rescripted over time.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't like people ask me like, what is your biggest project? I'm like, Miner's Haven, but not really at the same time.
I think, like, Roblox games are very iterative, and so I think that happens a lot. So, like, Phantom Forces has none of Lito Zinnemann's scripts in it anymore. Like, it's all been replaced at this point by access angles and stuff. So it's just kind of like how they go. So, like, but putting in the initial ones, I think that's part of it. So cool. Are you working on anything, like, new?
I actually am. I'll bring my laptop over.
Okay, well, we'll see if he comes back.
Hey, can I see that magazine?
See this.
Thank you. Shout out.
Yes,
Shout out to Them Magazine. I don't know, if you were lucky enough to come here, we have printed collector's editions of this magazine that you guys usually see digitally, but
it's like someone took the internet and
Yeah.
put it into pages. This is so weird. Who consumes content
who does
like
this way? What is this
Look at how
called?
slick this is, though. It's
This
like
mysterious paper. This is paper?
yeah. I think it's just
Okay,
on
I want to
paper.
show you what I've been working on.
All right, what you got?
Okay, so I want to give a shout out to the Roblox Assault team, and I'm actually making a place for like that. I'm making a place like sort of based off their theme. So this is like an apartment building. It's actually, if you zoom out, there's like I'm making a city. I didn't do a lot of work yet, but like these are nice trees and it's a
Good.
beach
I like the
and stuff.
brickwork.
It's gonna be a role play game.
Cool.
And it's gonna be a role play based on the city. You get jobs, you get a house, apartment or whatever, make money, make friends, all that stuff. So
Cool. Awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, keep me posted. You should come to my panel later about marketing your game.
Yeah, I'll definitely go
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
Y'all should. Oh man, they're getting a pretty big crowd over here. I think we're about done. We're about to.
By the way, follow me at RBX_10 on Twitter. Thanks.
Hey guys, go. We're gonna do these later. We're gonna talk to some of these guys later. But for now, we are going to throw it back, and we've got our Q&A coming up here pretty soon. So don't go anywhere. Stick around for RDC 2016 for the next 5.5-ish hours. So woo! That's good.
So shine bright tonight, you and I. We're beautiful like diamonds in the sky. Eye to eye, so alive. We're beautiful like diamonds in the sky. Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond. Oh yeah. Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond.
Testing the mic for sound. Is this on? Hello? You live again. Everyone, I hope you enjoyed the break. Go ahead and find your seats. We're going to resume the presentations. We have another couple presentations for you before we break for lunch. That's right, there's even more food coming in a short amount of time. We're going to keep you well fed out there. But coming up next, we're going to move into some cool new features. Talking about with our client and the featuring roadmap. So you're going to hear next from a man we know as Deepak, but you know him because his name already lives in infamy on the forums, Sorkis. Deepak Sorkis Tranjasekaram.
Okay, been super exciting so far. Wait, am I okay? And I'm going to make it more exciting for you guys by talking about the future of avatars. Sorry? I can't hear you? Cool. I'm going to be talking about the future of avatars. This is very, very close to my heart because it's one of those things that I feel like it's kind of remained the same. My clicker is not working. Supposed to work? Sorry? Yeah, okay, cool, we're good. So, most of you might know my avatar already, but roughly speaking, I joined the ROBLOX in 2011, and this is how I used to look back in 2011. In 2016, I look exactly like this. You know, people usually change, so it feels like the world is kind of moving around the avatars, and the avatars are kind of remaining the same spot. And we were like, no, we really need to start looking into updating the avatars, making it more awesome, while keeping what we have currently. Because we know that a lot of you really, really like the current avatars as well. Now, when we go about redesigning something, we have to look at principles, right? So we need to look at head shape, faces, fixed scale, 6 parts. These are the current list of things that we need to look at. What do we update for this? We need to definitely keep the ROBLOX family look and feel. As Dave mentioned, we are a brand for all ages, which means we need to be family friendly. And we also want to enable user-generated content for avatars and their accessories, right? Right now, only ROBLOX sells hats, for example. A lot of you have been asking for every one of you selling hats, but we haven't gotten there yet, so we want to get there soon enough. Now, let's talk about some terminology here. R6 is what we are calling our current avatars. They have 6 parts, 6 joints. I'm including the physics root. Most of you are technical, so I'm hoping you know what the physics root is. And R15 is the new one with the 15 parts, 15 joints that we have been experimenting. A lot of you are in the beta program. You might have tried it out already. I'm going to show you some of the demos, stuff like this right now, but you know what it is. Now, it has the same proportions as R6, okay? It's not like we're going to completely change the proportions yet. And then there is a future where we want to change the proportions, where we want to be able to scale the avatars dynamically so you can have realistic games if you really, really want to do so. Now, let's do the demo. Can we play the video? Give it a second. It has some cool moves. Oh, no. No. Not this one. Sorry. It's the one, the video is in the presentation. Okay, you just need to, okay. Well, you guys have played it, right? All right, so we will skip this one for now. For you guys, this is the most important part. For you guys, we have finalized the part sizes, the joints, the proportions. You can take a look. You can kind of play around with it. You can start making animations. There could be slight modifications. Oh, cool.
Turn your back,
I don't think so.
broken
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Go around and just
This is not it. This is the next. Now, you guys, I mean, everybody knows me to be a troll. I'm getting trolled right now, I'm guessing. No, that's okay. Okay, cool. So, you can choose what type of avatar it is, and you have APIs that we are constantly publishing. One of the APIs that I've always wanted for myself is the fact that I don't want to go through individual parts within the avatar to kind of figure out what the physics is, like touch events and stuff like this. So I want like a whole scale touch event, which is what we're going to provide you. Now for the users, soon enough, you're going to be able to select a different type of avatar. Okay, and this is kind of important. You're going to be able to go to the avatar customizer page, and you're going to be able to select R15 as your avatar. This is coming very, very soon. The date is still yet to be set, because there is a couple of other things we need to take care of. Now, other things we have been thinking of. What if in your profile you can have dynamic poses? You're not like going to be standing around with this. You can do better. So if you have war axe, so we were like, okay, what if we have a two-handed weapon? And it's a blue-collared cat, the two-handed. I mean, most cats do use war axes. So now, whoa, okay. I'm guessing that's the cat. All right, so next is, now there's a challenge, yeah? We have a huge catalog of items, about 7,000 of them that we need to kind of make sure it works with the new system. 2,000 gear, which everyone knows and loves. We need to make it work with the current system, and about 220 packages. Now, the hats is slightly different because most of you know you equip 3 hats, and you have only 3 hats, and you also want more customization. So we're going to split the hats into 8, in fact. Now, these are the attachment points you can see on the right. The animated GIF shows you. You can have a hat, a hair, a face, neck, shoulders, something in the front of your body, something back in your body, something in your waist. So you can fully customize your avatar as much as you want. Now, immediately somebody's going to think, where is the shoes? Where's my shoes? Now, we do want to introduce shoes. Since we don't have them right now, we are not introducing them yet. It'll definitely something we want to do it in the future. Packages are slightly different. Penguin untextured with the ROBLOX head on the left, blue-collared cat on the middle, and Amelia the Phoenix, I named her, on the right. I really like the name Phoenix. Okay. Now, how do they animate? Because these are not necessarily, not all of them are like, Amelia is definitely like a humanoid. Penguin is like kind of different. So let's look at how the penguin animates. How does it look with the new system? I think it looks pretty good, right? So what about the blue-collared cat? Pretty good too. So let's talk about Amelia now. So this is Amelia the Phoenix. This is an exclusive Xbox package. If you haven't gotten her, go sign up on Xbox and you can get her. Now, so she has a couple of challenges. When we introduced her, we didn't have adjustable joints, adjustable rigs, right? So she kind of has broad shoulders. And this is something we've always wanted to tackle, and we wanted to fix so that the avatars look really good. Now, we started talking about scaling her, right? You see the Amelia on the old, which is the one that I just showed you, and the one V1 on the left. And we are like, okay, we want to scale her slowly towards the left, yeah? She looks better, hopefully. So we are like, okay, this is what we want. Now, how do we get there? This is where scaling is very, very important. We want to make sure that you can scale your avatar so you can show the differences. You want to be slightly taller, slightly shorter. You want to be slightly wider. Stuff like this. So we want to be able to enable these features for you guys. So if you put her with R15 Cube Man, she looks pretty scaled down, yes, about 30% down. Now, so this is where we want to introduce scaling. This is like an internal representation. We haven't figured out the exact numbers and specifics yet, but roughly speaking, you're going to be able to scale her in width and height, uniform. Very, very simple for the user. Don't have to worry about every part scaling, stuff like this. So if Amelia is scaled all the way up and fixed, she's super thin. And this is kind of what we want to give you guys. Okay? Now, here's how she looks animated. Okay. And of course, the system is built so that you guys can use this extensively. It's not like a specifically special case for avatars. You can start building your own if you really wanted to. Now, the other thing that has been bothering a lot of people who make shirts is, I want to make shirts, but I want my shirts to show through the packages. And that's what you're seeing here. You're seeing the same package equipped, and the blue is the shirt, and the green is the shirt. and it's going to see through. So whenever there's a hole in the package, you're going to be able to see it. So if you have like a Hulk package with the ripped arm, you're going to see the shirt through the package. And this is going to be cool for the shirt creators because now you can have different combination layers on your avatar. Yeah. Now, okay, this time we're going to try to play the video. All right. So we want to introduce, right? I mean, mobile is growing. It's going to be big. Everyone show you charts. Yeah. We want to put the mobile avatar editor out there. This is going to be in the client. It's going to be native, and you're going to be able to do this. Okay. Right. Now, I did mention one topic at the beginning of the presentation, the secret topic, introducing user-generated content for all assets, where we are not in the business of making the content. We are going to enable you guys to make the content. So we want to create the industry's greatest tool set for crowdsourced moderation and selling of user-made items. The immediate challenge with shirts and pants right now is kind of the race to the bottom, where anybody can take your shirt and they can kind of sell it for a cheaper price, and you have this conflict, constant conflict going on with the market. And we kind of want to stop this, yeah? So we will have a submission and a curation process. So you don't have to worry about your stuff being out there where other people are making money out of it. We will kind of take care of this for you. So the community and us in combination will take care of this for you. So you will continue to make hats, gear, everything you require for the avatars, and we will take care of the other curation part for you, so we don't have to worry about that stuff. Revenue is still up in the air. We still need to figure out what the pricing model is, yeah? And rollout. Now, developer access has been live for a few months now. User beta is coming really soon, this month in fact, and I'm hoping the user release is in October, in which case every avatar that's made new is R15, with avatar editors coming side by side with it, with scaling, and the UGC for all assets is in 2017. Thank you. And finally, we wanted to show you what the future looks like, the avatars side by side. Yeah, so there is a wide, buff, Redcliffe Knight on the right, Builderman on the middle, and all types of avatars that are scaled, slightly taller, slightly shorter. And this is the future of Roblox. This is where you're going to look, what the avatars are going to look like for you guys. Okay, cool.
All right, folks, coming up in a couple seconds here, we're going to see a video on some of the client releases over the last year. Give us 1 second while we figure this out.
Turn your back, you're a broken man. You come around and just die and shake your head. I don't expect you to understand. Just keep telling yourself there's no shame. They don't know about who we are. They don't know about you and I. They ain't no blind by the stars of your eyes. Oh, hot blood love is gonna get you. Prove you're the better man. You wanna reach for the things that nobody can. All you need is to break away, yeah. Just keep telling yourself there's no shame. They don't know about who we are. They don't know about you and I. They ain't no blind by the stars of your eyes. Well, hot blood love is gonna get you. And get up again, get up again, get up and get up again.
All right, folks. We have one more presentation this morning before we break for lunch. But before that, we're going to have a Q&A session with all of our morning guests. So get your questions ready after this presentation. We're going to go into that. But first, I have the pleasure of introducing a very wise man. A man that proves that no math problem is ever truly unsolvable. We know him as Arseny. You know him as Zook CG. Welcome to the stage, Arseny Zook CG Kapulkin.
All right, hello. Pleasure to be here, pleasure to see all of you. This is way more people than we had at last RDC, and in general, hopefully this is the best RDC ever. So let's go ahead, and I'm speaking for the client team, and I will cover the client features that we have shipped, client features that we will ship shortly, stuff that we are working on, early prototypes, sneak peeks into the future, all right. So briefly, what is the client? What do we do here? So Roblox runs on a lot of platforms, 6 currently on the left, more coming, right? So both desktop, mobile, console, everything. And we do a lot of stuff here. We do graphics, physics, networking features, a lot of work with obviously the scripting language Lua, the APIs, sound input, like all of that, right? So the leftmost column is the platform. The middle column is the client, is what we work on, right? And on the right, this is your game. So our job is to make your game work consistently, performantly, on all of these platforms, if possible, if you want to support all of them. I will use color coding. You don't have to remember this, but just to make it easier. So whatever's green will mean we either have released this or are just releasing this, like, I don't know, this week. Blue means we are in development, or this is on our short-term roadmap. This means we are working on this, or it's planned for the relatively near future. People who are familiar with the term soon TM know soon TM does not mean soon. So soon TM means we have prototypes, we are thinking about this, we think this is part of our future, but the projects are maybe challenging enough so that we can't promise you a release date or something like this. And the gray color means feedback. So we iterate at Roblox. Whenever we ship a feature, we want to ship the first version, and then the second version is kind of up to you. If you shipped a feature that you want to be better in some way, talk to us. And I'll cover some specific examples where we want your feedback to let us know what we should do for some of these. So let's start with graphics, what's very near and dear to my heart. So Keith briefly covered this, but we've done a few big updates on the smooth terrain. So we launched smooth terrain about a year ago now, a bit more. We have seen a lot of great creations with it. It's very inspiring. It's a great tool to build. It's a great tool for first-time users to build. It's a great tool for experienced users to build in general. It introduces a new type of building. We've never had this before on Roblox, right? Terrain is, compared to the parts, sometimes resource intensive. Like if you want a very big terrain compared to one giant part, it will take way more resources. So it will be slower. It will take more memory. Maybe it won't run on phones or on tablets. So 2 big updates that have shipped on all platforms a few weeks ago are level of detail and general memory optimizations. So general memory optimizations just means that we have optimized a lot of the internal details about how terrain is stored. So voxels take fewer bytes now in a lot of cases. So if you want to have a big terrain, or if you want to have a smaller terrain, but on a very, very memory-constrained device like iPad 2, you can have it now. And the second big thing is level of detail. So what does level of detail mean? So here I have a very, very big place. This is a bit more than 1 billion voxels. This was generated by our terrain generator. You can recognize some of the shapes. And this was generated using production Roblox Studio build. Like you can go into Roblox Studio, you can hack the script that generates terrain to unlock it to be able to generate like infinite terrain, basically, right? And then generate this. As you can see here, we see a lot of terrain. How does it work? So the LOD, level of detail system, means that the terrain that's closer to you has more detail, terrain that's farther away from you has less detail. You can see here at the bottom of the screen, there is an area that's surrounded by red lines. This is the highest level of detail. This is where your character is. And then further along, you have the next level of detail where the voxels are bigger, so we have to spend less memory and less resources to render this. And then the next level is yet bigger, and the level after this is bigger. So without this, it's completely impossible to render this at any frame rate that even approaches real time, or fit this into memory, because without the level of detail, this is probably like 16 gigabytes or something of memory required. But this runs comfortably on a laptop, 60 FPS, and this update is live everywhere. So this means two things. Big places on desktop are now more practical with smooth terrain, and smooth terrain in general is very practical now on all mobile devices. And this is just as a less programmer's art version and more like somebody actually built this. Here you can see that far away, terrain still looks good, right? It's not the case that it completely decimates the look. It still looks nice. All right, so what's next for smooth terrain? We don't know. So we have some things that we think we should be doing, like vegetation is one of them. But largely speaking, we want you guys to tell us what is not working, what is working well, what do you want. Do you want more materials? Do you want custom materials? Do you want colors for voxels so that you can paint your terrain with colors in addition to materials? Do you want vegetation support? Do you want more control over level of detail? Do you want flowing rivers? I don't know. Talk to me, talk to other staff members. Tell us what you think. Tell us how you're using this, or what features should we add to smooth terrain for you to use it in your games. All right. A super exciting update that hopefully all of you are using in their games. If some of you aren't using it, you should be, is post-processing update, which we shipped a few months ago. We shipped several new post-processing effects that you can control in your game: color correction, bloom, blur, and sun rays. Please be responsible with the use of them. I've seen some games that use color correction or sun rays that are like super, super extreme, but fundamentally the look of your game is in your control, right? And all of them work on mobile and desktop and console, given enough performance. On a lower end mobile phone, maybe you will not see sun rays, but in general, they work. Anti-aliasing is an update that's completely automatic. Just if you have high enough quality level on desktop or console, the game looks much better because of anti-aliasing. This is automatic. And soft particles, it's also an automatic update if you have particle effects that are close to geometry. Now on high quality levels, it's hard to see the seam between the particle and the geometry. Previously, there was a very hard cut that was very visible and very distracting. Now, given enough performance, we fix it for you. So all of this is live. These are some examples of how these look. These are different post-processing effects on Roblox games. This is very cool in my mind. The general reaction to the screenshot is I can't believe it's Roblox, but it is. And this is an example of very creative use of blur and also particles in an actual game. I'm sorry, I don't know what the game name is or the creator. But yes, I encourage you to use all of them in your games and tell us what you need next. So we have a post-processing system. We shipped a few effects that are very carefully optimized. They have high quality, and we can do more. We ran some polls on that forum. We have some data, but tell us what you need. Do you need depth of field? Do you need like cell shading? Do you need some type of post effect that we aren't thinking about right now? What do you want? What do you need to make your game better, or to make some specific gameplay scenarios look better and like represent them with visuals changing in your game? All right. So weather. we started to work on updates to Sky. Here's the objective here. So you can use skyboxes already right now. You can make really beautiful skybox. Skyboxes do not allow you to make a good dynamic time of day. We want you to be able to easily make dynamic time of day in your games. I will show some super early screenshots and videos. This is nowhere near final. This is not final quality. We are working on this as we speak. It will take some time to actually flesh it out. But what we are thinking of is there is an object that has several parameters that are tweakable from Lua, no textures, and completely dynamic, so you can change it whenever you want. You can have a script that dynamically changes the time of day. You can have some event that says, oh, let's go to nighttime now. And this is how it works in Studio. So none of this is a skybox. None of this is pre-rendered in any way or changed by the artist. This is all dynamic. So we have a cool sunset here. Now let's go back. I'm changing the slider for the time of day in Studio. This is not a script. This is just Studio. And then I'm changing some parameters, like how much clouds do you want to have, how fast should clouds move, that kind of thing. You can see the clouds react to the sun. There's some cloud lighting. And in general, all of this is dynamic, fast, real-time, and configurable from Studio or from your scripts or however you want to have it. So if you noticed on that slide, there was also precipitation. So our grand plans for the weather system involve everything else, right? So we are starting with sky and clouds. This is what we're working on. This is what we are prototyping. But ultimately, of course, it should be easy enough to make rain or snow or wind or whatever other atmospheric like weather effects you want. It should be possible in Roblox, and it should be possible to make it easily. All right, let's move on. So this is super visionary and out there. This is soon TM category. There's a bunch of lighting updates. We ship dynamic lighting. This was one of the first projects I worked on. So like 3.5 years ago. It's working well. It's working well on mobile. It's working well on the desktop. We want to have high quality. We want to have high responsiveness. So we are working on prototypes of the new lighting system. We are experimenting with different options. Maybe it should be an upgrade of the existing system. Maybe it should be some completely new one. I have a video to show you with early progress results, soon TM. So this is a screenshot. This is from Game Polygons that I really like. It has very nice, clean style so that it's easy to see. Basically in this game, the lighting and the color choice for the parts makes the game visually. There's nothing else here, no materials, no smooth terrain, no nothing. So here you can see that the shadows are way more defined. This is basically not, this look is not possible with the current system just due to voxel resolution. Also here you see that the contrast between light and shadow is much higher. This is because this is using high dynamic range rendering where we can have a very bright sun and very dark shadows, and then depending on where you look and how bright is the scene that you see currently, we adjust the exposure level. People who use cameras with like exposure controls, they know, right? To make what you see actually be in visible spectrum. So this is a screenshot, and now there's a video. This is an early build, but unmodified level. Pretty much, so I have a characters running around. The shadows from the character are not using the current separate system for humanoids. Everything here is using the same like new lighting system. So you can kind of see what the limit of the quality is on the character shadows. And then there is a grenade weapon. If you look really carefully, you can see that the light from the grenade casts shadows. And then the spotlight in the gun also casts shadows, and you can see very dynamic, very high quality. This is kind of what we are aiming for. So once again, soon TM. There is a lot of problems to figure out. There are some quality. We are largely happy with the quality, but you can see some transitions here not working well. But the big second part is performance. How do we make sure this runs fast enough on pretty much any levels if you have a reasonably high performant computer, and how do we scale this down? Like, what are the limits of this technology? Can we run this on higher-end mobile? Can we run this on low-end PCs? And we do have really low-end PCs. 2 days ago, we purchased a 14-year-old computer from eBay to make sure that the bug that we accidentally introduced never gets there again. So, you know, like, we care about all devices, so we need to make sure the technology that we make is scalable. All right. That is it for graphics. Now let's go to physics. Quick thing about the physics updates that I'm talking about here. So PGS, the new physics solver, is live. It's the default for new places. Everything that I'm talking about here today in physics only works if you have PGS on. We do not plan to update the Spring solver. In fact, if some of you are not using PGS, please talk to me or some other staff members and tell us why. Because we want everyone to be using PGS. We do not plan any performance or fidelity or any updates to the old Spring solver. We want to make sure that PGS works for everyone. So keep that in mind. Constraints. A week ago, I think, we shipped new constraints. Some of you may not know about this because the update is only available from scripts right now. There is some studio support, but it's very bare bones. What does this mean? So you know that previously we had hinges and some other types of joints that are more obscure and harder to work with. So we have a new paradigm. We call the objects constraints, and then constraints are linked to attachments. Attachment is an object you placed on the part, and then given two attachments, you can link them with a constraint. For example, there's a pretty long anticipated constraint called rope. What it means is that you create a rope between 2 points, 2 attachments, and then when you run physics simulation, it behaves as a rope with a certain length. I will show a video of how that looks. And in general, we shipped 6 new constraints. So ball socket is new. You could fake it previously with glue. Hinge is exactly like the old hinge. And rope, rod, spring is pretty obvious. The wiki has documentation for all of these with screenshots, explanations of what the properties do, etc. What we are working on right now, and what's really, really close to releasing, I hope it will be released in August, late August probably, is a in-game rendering. So right now, if you put a rope in your game, in studio, in edit mode, it will render fine, but in player, it won't. So we are fixing that. And studio tools, so that these constraints are practical for developers who don't know how to script to create, or even developers who know how to script. The tools that we have, the tools that we are shipping make the constraint creation much, much easier. You just don't want to not use them. So here's the video of a bridge that I made with ropes. This is how the in-game rendering looks. You see basically a rope right between 2 attachments. And then I'm using the rope tool to create a new rope between 2 segments of the bridge that weren't connected before. And another one, and then this is 2 lags, of course, right? So on the rope, there's a parameter that controls the maximum length. So reducing that a bit makes the bridge work better. And then, obviously, all of this is completely dynamic. You can change any properties in-game or in studio. You can remove constraints. You can remove parts. In fact, right now, I will run the simulation and then start removing segments of the bridge, or maybe just 1 segment to break the bridge, right? And then it all works seamlessly with everything else that we have. If you change the bottommost part of the bridge to have a heavier material, then the bridge starts to sink into the water. There's a buoyancy simulation, like it's all integrated, it all works. PGS only, 6 new constraint types that are already available and that will have full UI support in Studio. And we are not done. So what else are we working on? What else do we plan to do? So there are 6 new types of constraints. We think you need more. We think we know some types of constraints that are missing from this initial release. But if you had a chance to play with the existing constraints, with the 6 new ones, tell us what you need. If you haven't, play with it and then tell us what you need. Because we think we need more than 6. We don't know what the exact types we want to ship, right? So then we want to do an update to the body movers. So body position, body orientation, body velocity. They don't work perfectly right now. We have a plan for the improved version. We have planned for objects that are easier to control. Right now there's like this P and D value. You have to set them to be really high like numbers for them to work. It's not clear what they mean. I'm constantly confused by them. I'm sure you are. It's a bit of a magic tuning them. So we want to fix all that. We want to make new objects that work better. And last but not least, mechanism assembly. So we have Studio support for joint building. It works really well on simple mechanisms. It works well on complex mechanisms, but it's not as simple as we would like to create sometimes. So let me show you a very early prototype video of a new joint building mode where it's kind of like our current dragger, where it automatically figures out when it has to create a joint and then snaps and then does inverse kinematic simulation on the other parts of the same assembly, so that when you drag a part, instead of just breaking the joints that it's attached to, it dynamically adjusts them so that the joint constraints are still holding. This makes it much easier to build these really complicated structures with like long chains of joints connected to each other, and yeah, like things like that. All right, so let's cover D-physics. As many of you know, we have distributed physics simulation system. We have done some updates to this over the years, and then we have implemented manual D-physics controls so that you can say the client or the server is authoritative over this part and never let it change for this object. We want to do more. So several things that we're working on. First is physics interpolation. So right now there's this unfortunate property that if the object is remotely controlled, it teleports at 15 Hertz. It makes it really, really hard to make good shooting games because you want your raycast weapons to be really precise and really timely, which is why some of you are implementing really weird hacks that say, okay, on render step, I will take all my parts and re-C-frame them to their interpolated position. We don't want you to have to do that. Also, it introduces some problems in the physics simulation. So we want to fix that. We want to start interpolating the physics data, which will effectively bring up the update rate of this of 260 Hertz. So then in some cases, there's a distributed physics simulation, right? And then the client owns a certain part. And then at some point, the other client wants to own the same part. Right now, this handoff process where the first client stops owning the part and the second client starts owning the part is long. If you have high ping, it's very, very long. And there are some cases where we know better, where we can do a more immediate handoff and say, like, take the ownership of this part right now, regardless of what your ping is. And in addition, there's this constrained local simulation thing, which I will not go into too much details about, but basically, remotely owned objects can be simulated better than what we do right now, and we're working on that. So here's a demonstration. This is like prototype that we are working on bringing to production. This is the old video. This is the video from current production Roblox. You have two cars that are owned by two different people. They drive into each other. The results are not great. Let's do this again, if I can. I'm not sure. Okay, yeah. So you see there are some issues here. What happens here is the cars, instead of colliding and bouncing off each other, on each remote client, the cars get into each other, they penetrate, and then the solver resolves this issue in a really strange way. And this is all with high ping. So if you had zero latency, this wouldn't have happened, but you never have zero latency. So this is the new code. You can see that it's much, much better. This is high ping. This is like 100 plus milliseconds of ping from both clients. You can see that while the simulation is not perfect, it's not exactly what you would see on a local client. It's much, much better. And this is completely automatic. This does not require your interaction, does not require you to change the game. And we are working on bringing this to production Roblox, to all the games. Finally, there are many areas in Roblox where performance becomes more and more important. Part of this is due to mobile. Mobile devices are generally less powerful, so generally require more attention. Part of this is due to VR, which I'll talk a bit later. So we are working on performance with respect to physics engine. Something that has shipped is the animations, the built-in Roblox animations are much, much faster right now. Helps a lot for R15, helps a lot of cases where you just have a lot of humanoids running around. If you are using complicated rigs and custom animation systems, we encourage you to try to switch to our animation system if you have your own editor, because it's just faster. And things that we are planning to work on really, really soon is just general performance improvements to the physics engine. Work on the solver, so right now we can handle X joints or constraints and like X contact points on a low-performing mobile device. How can we drive it higher? Can it be 2x? Can it be 4x? Collisions, can we make collisions between blocks faster? Can we make collisions between CSG parts faster, et cetera, et cetera. So expect to see, as we finish the constraint work that we have, expect to see us switching to the performance mode on the physics side, where we work on all of these. All right, let's talk a bit about networking. So there are systems at Roblox that work well, and there are systems at Roblox that don't work well. Let me be straightforward and tell you, the way our interpolation system works right now is not good. We fully acknowledge this. It's like really bad whenever you see other characters in your game teleporting, jittering, going back and forth, like walking in place. This is usually our fault. Sometimes it's a bad connection, but ultimately what this means is we are not effective enough at compensating the effects of this bad connection. Of course, if you have a ping time of like 10 seconds and if you have 50% packet loss, you should not expect your character to behave well on other people's computers. But right now, there are situations where your network is okay, not great, but okay, but the character still doesn't move well. And the same applies to non-character parts as well. It's just on characters, this is the most obvious thing that you see in many games. Gets worse with many characters in the game. Gets worse with mobile because of the network quality on mobile is generally lower. So we are fixing all of that. We are working on a completely new interpolation system. Our target is as smooth of a movement as we can have. Once again, if you have super bad connection, maybe we can't do anything about this. But in general, if you go in a game, if you go into After Disasters, if you go into Plaza, whatever the game is, right, with many characters, characters should not jitter, characters should not pause, characters should not teleport. It should all work smoothly. A related concept is something I touched on before, is precise hitboxes. So right now, if you have high ping or highly variable network connection, your character ends up teleporting big distances. This makes it really hard to shoot this character in raycast-based games because the physics data for this character is updating very, very slowly, right? So that will be fixed. And also mechanism interpolation. The more we see complicated mechanisms like cars, etc., that are built with joints, we will see this more with ropes. There are some issues right now with remotely owned mechanisms that require us to do a better job at interpolating them. So we're working on this right now. This is a long, hard project because there's a lot of things to figure out. There's a lot of problems to solve, but this will happen. And finally, to talk a bit more about latency. So out of curiosity, how many of you here are not from US? Raise your hand. All right. So you'll be happy to know that while about a year ago, all our game servers were in US, we have started to put game servers elsewhere. This is a continuous effort. We are putting more and more in Europe, Asia, etc., etc. The closer the game server is to you, the less your ping is to the server. We are generally limited just by speed of light. You can't send data to the server that's across the globe from you fast enough, right? So the more servers we have, the better this will become, and we try to put you to the server that's closest to you unless there are some overriding factors. Like if you want to play with your friend and your friend is playing from US, then maybe we'll pick a compromise, right? But if you just play a game, we want to pick as close a server to you as possible. So this is the network ping. So part of this is live, and we are continuing to add more servers. So then there's data ping. So imagine your speed of sending packets, or like the latency of the packets that you can get to the server and back, is X milliseconds. We have an additional amount of processing in our server that slows that down. So maybe you have the optimal ping of like 15 milliseconds, But your real ping for property updates, remote events, etc., is 60, just because there are some systems on the server or on the client that are not working well to minimize that. So we are working on bringing this down and expect some updates about this in the future, although right now interpolation work, of course, takes priority. And then server performance. So the max publicly allowed number of players that you can have is 50. Why not 100? Why not 200? A lot of this is due to server performance. When we are done with interpolation and other networking tasks, we want to take another look at this, because you should be able to have as big of a game as you want, as practical for us is to run on our servers. All right, last but not least. So Dave has covered this a bit. We are going VR. We already support a lot of VR platforms, and we want to support more. So you will be able to try VR in Roblox today. There is a booth with a bunch of headsets that you can play your game, you can play other games, and generally check it out. If you have never had a VR experience, I recommend you to try that, because it is mind-blowing. It is very different from, like, the same game may feel completely different in VR. Platforms. So we are live on Oculus Rift and HTC Vive. Meaning if you have an HTC Vive or Oculus Rift, you can plug it in, you can start Roblox Studio or client, it will be in VR. We are working on mobile support, so this focuses on Google Daydream, which is the next version of Google Cardboard, but we plan to also support Google Cardboard. This is active work in progress right now. There are some performance challenges, but in general this is going well, and we expect to start launching the VR-compatible mobile app really soon on hopefully both Android and iOS. And then we are thinking about PlayStation VR, because so far, beyond mobile, this is the most affordable option from what it looks like. But in general, I feel like VR is super early right now, and even if the cost of the headsets and the necessary hardware right now is high, we see companies on both VR side and the PC hardware side bringing this down. NVIDIA and AMD are shipping new graphics cards that are cheaper, that are VR compatible, and hopefully there will be cheaper headsets, maybe not just from Oculus and HTC, but from other companies. So in general, VR will be great. VR is great. VR will be awesome. There will be a lot of content, and Roblox is very well equipped to work with VR. Some development effort on your part is required to make VR truly shine in your game, but it's very, very easy to start. So a bit on VR controls. Right now, what we have is we have gamepad support for Oculus. It's our gamepad controls for Xbox or PC, but adapted for VR. We fix things that don't work well in VR, but we are working on hand controller support. So if you have an HTC Vive, you have two hands, or maybe you have Google Daydream, you have one hand in which you hold. So right now I'm holding a clicker, which does not have any tracking support, but in VR, you have a controller in your hand. Controller knows where it is in 3D space. It can tell the game. So in the game, you can swing a sword with your hand and actually have your character swing a sword the same way, right? So we are working on the first-class support for this for built-in Roblox character controls. Nothing stops you from experimenting with this right now. I know some people built custom games with that. I know some people took like Phantom Forces and adapted the controls to work in VR. In general, we encourage experimentation, and you can start doing this like right now if you have a VR headset and a tracked controller. A lot of work in VR is focused on UI. A big thing that we have done, and we are continuing to do this, is core GUI revamp. How does chat look in VR? How do notifications work in VR? What about NPC dialogues? All of that, right? Once again, you can try what we have right now today. This is not final, but this represents a lot of progress from where we were. And we are continuing to make it better and better. For example, for chat, we are rolling out voice to text. If you are in VR, it's really, really inconvenient for you to type, right? There's no keyboard in your hands, and typing with the gamepad is kind of awkward. We are experimenting with voice to text, where you just say something, and we translate this to the actual English text, and then it gets filtered through our filter system, and then uses our chat to talk to other people. So then developer GUI compatibility is partially complete. The question is, if you have a UI in your game that's 2D, if it's 3D, it works well. If it's 2D, how do you make it work in VR? Maybe your game has to have that. Some progress in this area. Once again, if you have a game, check out how it works in VR. Tell us what doesn't work, what works. We are here to listen to your feedback. And then the big thing that's missing right now is launch games from VR. Right now, to launch a game, you go to a website in your browser. Your browser does not support VR yet. You hit a play button, there's a game, then you play the game, then you exit the game, you go back to the web browser. So you have to constantly take your headset on and off. The ultimate development there is if you don't want to leave VR, you don't have to leave VR. So you have to be able to play other games, chat with your friends who are not playing games, customize your character, etc., etc., etc. All of this is coming. We are starting to work on this. Soon TM. This is how it's really hard to capture VR and show it on a flat monitor. So this is like a screenshot of what somebody sees in VR but projected, so it doesn't really give you the full impression. But this shows some of the core UI that we have. You see that the UI for picking the chat or backpack, etc., is completely new. There's generally, as you see, almost no UI because 2D UI in VR doesn't really work well. So we try to minimize the amount of extra data that you see and have it accessible to you. And then this is how the chat works. We do have a keyboard. If you don't have a mic, or if you're not an English speaker, or if you have an accent, it's hard for me, for example, to interact with our voice to text because it doesn't really understand me half the time. But so just in case there's a keyboard, but you can see on the bottom right corner there is a voice chat icon, which provides you voice to text capabilities. All right. Big part of VR, big part of mobile is performance. So VR means you have to take the device where we previously ran at 30 FPS maybe and run it at 60 to 90 FPS. Mobile means there's a device that's maybe like 5 to 10x slower than your desktop and we still want to run your game on it performantly. So a lot of work in this area. We are working a lot on some rendering optimizations with our part rendering system, to make it faster to render parts, to make it faster to update parts. What if you have a part that you want to resize, change the color, etc. All of these are slower right now than they should have been. And similarly, what if you have a lot of CSG objects that you want to move around? Right now, some of these actions, as some of you know, cause significant performance issues, so we're fixing that. A lot of work on better CPU utilization. What if you have a dual-core CPU? What if you have a quad-core CPU? What if you have a mobile phone with like 3 cores that we can use that we don't use right now? All of this will get better. And in general, we are committed to making the platform faster and faster. If you have performance issues, tell us about them here. If you're on Dev Forum, post on Dev Forum. We are happy to help you figure out either what you can change in your game to make your game faster, or what we can change to make it faster. Some of the performance work that we have done is the direct result of a developer saying, hey, this is slow. And we look at this and we are like, it should not be slow. We can fix our code to make this thing faster. So we do. So talk to us, and we need your help to figure out what we should work on for performance. All right, that's all I had. Thank you for listening.
All right, everyone out there, so we're going to do the QA session as we spoke of earlier. So what's going to happen now is we're going to set up 2 microphones out there for you guys to line up next to, and then when you get your chance, we're going to ask you to have a question. But first I want to invite everyone who spoke this morning back to the stage. If we could get Arsenie's already here, Deepak, Keith, and Mike. I'd love to get you guys back up here, and we have these awesome chairs already. Cool. And I have a mic. Okay, and we're going to share the mic. Keith and Mike, I'm going to let you guys share this mic. Excellent. Thank you, sir. All right, and out here, where do we have the lines? You see one over here, and you see one over here. So if you have questions, now's your chance. Stand up and ask us anything. We've got a lot of folks up here with a lot of topics to cover. Go ahead and just get in the line here, and we're going to have these guys kind of handle the questions directly. And so if you have one, go ahead and ask. If you don't, I'm going to continue to talk about what's happening for the rest of the day. After this, we are going to be taking a break for lunch. We have hot food here. Those who have a lunch with Dave, who won that last night, meet to the side of the stage here, and that's where we're going to all meet before we go to lunch. What's happening next? Keep in mind about the game jam tomorrow. We're going to be supporting groups up to 5. If you have a group in mind you already want to work with, let us know, or let us know tomorrow, but keep that group in mind for today. If you don't want to work in a group, you don't have to. You can work as a solo. You don't have to do that either. If you'd like us to make a group for you, come down tomorrow and we're going to pair people up. And once again, things start tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. The game jam will begin at 10. Okay, for today, do we have any questions on the sides here?
Here's one. So I apologize, people. I'm brand new to Roblox. I haven't played all of your games yet. I'm standing too close to the speaker. I have a million questions, and I hope y'all will help me. How do I attach a backpack to a torso? How do I get into the real developers forum? I flew here from New York, so please pardon me. I don't want to be rude. Is there a beta out there that I can use that has other tools?
Cool, good questions.
How can I be all of your friends at the same time? I have 4 friends, that's it. And 2 of them are my niece and nephew. And my nephew, he loves Roblox and he's only 11. I want to teach him how to be the best developer he could be. He's trying to port over Wizard 101, you know, and this is his thing, so I really have a lot of questions.
Cool. I just heard one of those in there that actually I can answer. If mentioning the dev forum, for everyone out there who is not in the dev forum, you can apply and we will look at those. That's in the public section of the forum, so go check it out online. You can just Google search if you don't know where it is, and apply right there. So that's my question to answer. All right, we had a couple there.
There's a attaching backpack.
Attaching a backpack.
To a torso.
To a torso.
Like, I apologize again if I sound dumb. I'm an absolute noob. So, you know, like, I want to make hats. I work in Blender. I'm a Photoshopper. I'm all that.
I'm going to answer that. So, sorry. We're going to have a QA session with a lot of the engineers in the afternoon. So some of the more intimate questions specifically to you, please reserve them for the afternoon session. Thanks.
Hey, I'll jump in here. I want to thank you for all your questions. We really love new developers, and so thank you very much for being here and asking your questions.
Okay. Level of detail means we can render massive maps, but streaming them is still extremely slow. Is that getting fixed?
Can you repeat what is slow?
Streaming?
Oh, streaming. Yes, right. Right, so the level of detail update that I have presented is graphics only right now. If you have a giant place, like if you actually have a place of 1 billion voxels that you want to stream to the client, this will take forever. So 2 thoughts, right? So first thought, there is a streaming system. I know some of you tried to use this in the past and failed due to some bugs. A, we fixed some of those. B, if there are still things that make this streaming unusable, like let us know. We want you to use that. So the second thing is we are thinking of applying the same level of detail system to the network replication so that when you join a game, instead of just not having terrain data far away, you have a low resolution of that. This is TBA in the sense that we sort of know how to do that, but it's not planned right now, so this is the soon TM category. But we are definitely thinking about that.
Got one over here. So I know analytics and statistics are really important to like a successful game, and you guys have done a lot of work recently with the developer stats page, which is awesome. Thank you very much for that. But are there any plans to create like an in-house custom event tracking system, like something like Mixpanel? I know a lot of people use that. Is there a plan to integrate that into Roblox itself, that we can do that?
Yeah, so no plan yet to build out an event system, tracking system. We have heard people talk about it. I don't know how many people generally use Google Analytics. Okay, so you can do that right now. I know it's not in-house. I know it's not completely incorporated, but it's not too bad to implement, and people who have implemented it have really gotten a lot of great information. But that is a common request, and so we'll continue to think about it.
Awesome. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
One extra quick thing. There were some third-party analytics systems that you guys couldn't use before because they required HTTP service wasn't sufficient. You had to pass custom headers. So we have support for custom headers in HTTP service now. So if you do want to use some of these, Google Analytics is fine, but some other that may be more advanced may just be usable from Roblox, which may be good enough until we ship our own.
Awesome. Next question. We'll go to the other side here.
Hi there, Greg Tame. I recently started developing a lot with the mesh parts. However, especially on weekends, the wait time for having those approved can be upwards of 36 to 48 hours, and that makes quick updates of, say, broken UVs or a face the wrong way so it's invisible to some players difficult. Is that going to be improved in the future? Is it just going to have to be wait and hope for quicker approvals?
Yeah, no, waiting is no good. So thank you for telling us. We will look into that.
All right, thank you.
Also adding to that, there will be some changes in Studio which will help you to work with local files rather than uploading them to Roblox and get them there when you're ready.
Awesome. Next question.
Is it possible in the future that the frame cap for Roblox could be removed?
So outright removing the frame cap is bad for a lot of our users, right? Because you have a laptop. We had reports previously where we have accidentally introduced an update that uses more CPU time than we'd like, and then people know. How do they know? Their laptop fan starts spinning. So this is no good, right? We can unlock the frame cap if you have a monitor with a high refresh rate. We don't do this right now. I don't really know. My impression was that the amount of people with higher than 60 Hz monitors is very small, but we can look into this to figure out maybe this makes sense to support because it's not very hard. VR already runs at higher than 60 in some headsets.
So you mentioned post-processing and all that. I had no idea that existed, and even some of the things I do know exist, I don't even know how to use them or where to go to use them. Is there some guide or an upcoming guide that will tell me about that?
Wiki.roblox.com, right there.
Thank you.
So you can look it up on actually, we have a video channel now, video channel for Studio, where we post the most important things about how to develop games on Studio. This video channel will grow, sorry, and we also constantly update articles on Roblox. Articles will be coming with videos. The fact it will be standard for any article, any new article which is coming, and we will review also the articles we have there and add video to those. Hopefully it helps. If not, post on the dev forum, we will listen.
How do I find those videos?
So search and discovery, we talked about this. A part of this is notifications, right? So once we have notifications, you will get notified on anything you are interested in. This is something we will definitely take a look at because we really want you to find the content immediately.
Answering about how to find videos, if you go to YouTube, you can search there for Roblox Studio. They should come up. If not, you can go to also just click F1, press F1 in Studio. The help will open up. You can check up there. And once again, if there are any questions, post on the dev forum. We're looking there all the time.
All right, so when you make a game, you always want good music in the game. It's very important. But then you don't want the free music, you have to buy the license. And when you buy the license, you just buy it for you, yourself. The issue here is when you upload it to Roblox, anyone can just take the ID from your music and use it, even though it's not free. Are you going to do anything about that?
Yeah, no, that's not the first time we've heard that. In talking to the accelerators, I've heard that as well. And to be honest, it's just really kind of new to us to think about that. So we're going to start thinking about that.
All right.
All right, guys, we have 5 minutes left here. Just want to put out a warning. So we're going to take as many questions as we can fit in the next 5 minutes, but we might not have time to get every one of these questions answered. Remember, we're going to be breaking into smaller groups after this, so there's going to be a lot more time to ask your questions, even personally to a lot of these guys. So don't be concerned if we don't get to your questions now. But I'll stop wasting time. Let's keep going.
All right, hey, Clone19 here. So with the introduction of R15, how seamless of a transition can we expect from R6? Like, will old animations be compatible? Will most scripts work well with it, or is it going to be a kind of a complicated transition process to get it into R15 and stuff?
So, a couple of things. First, animations, you'll definitely need to make new animations if you add custom animations, right? We will provide our own libraries, so you can immediately get R15 on the ground and you can immediately use it. But if you really want custom animations, you're going to have to redo custom animations because the number of joins has changed.
Will there be like some kind of conversion process, so like we can convert an R6 animation to R15 real quick? Then tweak it from there.
So it might not be that simple because the physics, the structure of the body has changed. So you might have to redo the animations. Unfortunately, if you had made some for R6, but we are talking about making R15 backwards compatible with R6, as in it looks like an R6, it walks like an R6. So you will have that compatibility as well. So we are imagining a future where R15 and R6 are in the same game as well. So we would definitely want to support that.
All right, cool.
Awesome.
Hello, this question is in regards to smooth terrain. Obviously, the optimizations made lately have helped in a large scale, but in a small scale, it kind of renders the overall look of terrain. And I've read on the dev forums that your suggestion is to make the terrain look like thicker, but sometimes it just isn't a useful case. So is there any plans to make the optimizations recently made to smooth terrain toggleable to where we can turn them off?
Right, so yeah, there are some cases where it's impossible for us to preserve the structure of the terrain precisely. I'm curious if you can talk to me after this session about the specific case that you have, because I thought that a lot of these are addressable with content. So in general, we are thinking of letting you customize the LOD, like how LOD works, right? Because the change in the structure should only be visible far away. So maybe if the level of distance triggers far away enough, then maybe this is okay for your game performance-wise. So we are thinking about this, but I'm curious to hear about your specific use case after that.
Hi. I've always found it kind of strange that playing games live through Studio isn't officially supported. Why is that?
So, sorry, what was that one?
I always find it kind of weird how, like, in Studio, like, when you try to play a game, it asks you to download it. And then it's not officially supported, I've heard. Yeah. Launching games live.
Isn't that a security thing that would allow you to play games?
I mean, right. So right now, the client and the studio are pretty separated. The big issue is security. We want to make the player sufficiently different from studio to make exploiters' job harder. So we can't really allow you to connect from like studio to running game. There's some additional issues there with. Studio allows you to do more things, like to change the world, to inspect the world, right? It would be bad if you were able to hack Studio into connecting to other people's games with these capabilities kept intact. So this is kind of why. I don't think this will change in the future, really.
So you can't like launch the Roblox player from Studio?
We could launch player from the studio. That would eliminate that concern, right? So this then is just a user experience issue. We never really thought of this, I think, as like a high-profile thing, like that people do all the time. But if there's sufficient demand for this, I don't think it's hard for us to support it. It's more like we haven't got around to do that.
Okay.
All right, I think we have time for one more question over here.
Thank you very much for expanding the HTTP headers. I wanted to know, is there any plans in the future for more HTTP methods like delete or put? Because we only have get and post, and for example, we can't use all of the Trello API because we only have 2 of something like 50 different methods that they utilize.
Yeah, so I heard this a lot. Definitely possible. An issue is right now we never use any other methods anywhere else in the system, right? So the HTTP service functionality is what we use elsewhere. It's definitely possible for us to develop this, but we have different platforms with different implementations of the HTTP protocol. We have to figure out, for example, can you do this? Well, I guess if it's only server side that we could. So anyway, this is definitely possible, and we can think about doing this in the future. Just let us know, like, if other people want custom methods, just talk to us, right? The more people tell us, hey, we need a feature X, the more likely it is that feature X will happen, or the sooner it is that it will happen.
Awesome. All right, guys, we are running out of time here, so we're going to break for lunch here. Everyone with questions, don't think we forgot about you. Save those. We'll come ask you again, and you can have a chance to talk to these guys in smaller groups. But thank you to everyone up here on the stage. Keith, Mike, Deepak, Arseny. All right, folks, after lunch, we're going to get going. But for now, enjoy a snack. I believe lunch is served.
Told my girl I'd be back, operator, please. This is wrecking my mind. Oh, can it be? The voices calling me, they get lost.
Welcome to the 2016 ROBLOX Developers Conference. Roblox is growing faster than ever. You have a front row seat during the most exciting time in Roblox history. We are building the future of entertainment with you in the driver's seat. And now, please welcome to the stage, J Party.
Turn your back, you're a broken man. You come around and just dying to shake your head. Don't expect you to understand. Just keep telling yourself there's no shame. They don't know about who we are. They don't know about you and I. They ain't all blind by the stars of your eyes. Oh, hot blood love is gonna get you. Prove you're the better man. You wanna reach for the things that nobody can. All you need is to break away, yeah. Just keep telling yourself there's no shame. They don't know about who we are. They don't know about you and I. They ain't all blind by the stars of your eyes. Your hot blood love is gonna get you. and get up again. Say get up and get up, get up again. Get up and get up and get up again.